I'm about to visit His Majesty the King to offer my resignation and close the book on my time as Prime Minister. My work is done, and I am confident that Britain is now stronger and fairer than it was 2 years ago. And I thank the British people for the opportunity to serve. I go with good grace.
Good grace. Good grace. For a man who stripped winter fuel from the only demographic that still votes, pensioners. He broke his manifesto, appointed Jeffrey Epstein's personal fluffer as ambassador, backed a genocide in Palestine, and supported an illegal war on Iran. Good grace are two words that should never leave his mouth. To that I say, good riddance, you useless bastard. Buongiorno freaks and geeks, welcome back to the channel. Starmer won 411 seats, the biggest landslide since 1997. 2 years later, he's gone. How do you win everything and lose everything that fast? The smart ones among you would scream, lack of ideas, lack of personality, lack of a soul. 34%. That's all the vote share Labour actually got, and it was still less than Corbyn in 2017. 2/3 of the country voted against Keir on day one. They weren't voting for Starmer, they were voting against 14 years of the Conservative death cult. And his pitch was straight out of the Liberal handbook. No more drama, stability, competence, a safe pair of hands. The grown-ups have arrived. But here's the thing about promising competence. You actually have to be competent. And what we got was 2 years of unforced errors and one catastrophic judgment call involving a human sex trafficker Starmer had never even met. But I'm sure he wouldn't have been against it. So with that in mind, we're going to look at the many decisions that ended his premiership. But before I do, please don't forget to hit the buttons for like, subscribe, and tell me down below, is Keir Starmer the most failed Prime Minister in living memory? Peter Mandelson, former EU Trade Commissioner, veteran diplomat, master of the dark arts. Starmer needed someone who could handle Trump's proclivities. But there was one problem. In 2003, Mandelson called Jeffrey Epstein, quote, best pal. I mean, who even uses pal as an English person, but whatever. Best pal of a convicted sex trafficker. And Starmer, the former director of public prosecutions, appointed him anyway. September 2025, documents surfaced showing the depth of Mandelson's Epstein ties. Fired. Too late. The damage was done. How does the country's former top prosecutor fail to spot that appointing Epstein's best buddy might be a problem? Apart from him being an absolute idiot, your guess is as good as mine. And I know Keir Starmer had no personal involvement in the decision not to prosecute Jimmy Savile, but he didn't pursue it like his life depended on it either. Things to make you go, But Mandelson was the final straw. By January 2026, Starmer was already the U-turn Prime Minister. So many U-turns that he created 1,000 circles. Winter fuel payments stripped from pensioners. Reversed a year too late after the local election bloodbath. Welfare cuts. Reversed. Inheritance tax for farmers. Reversed. Benefits changes. Reversed. 49% of the public thought he was indecisive after 100 days. He spent the next 600 days proving them right. 1 or 2 U-turns looks like listening. 5 or 6 looks like you've got no idea what the hell you are doing. And then there were the promises that didn't even survive the first budget. Labour's manifesto was a Liberal's wet dream, and he still couldn't deliver. No increase in national insurance. Crystal clear, right? Rachel Reeves' first budget raises employers' national insurance by £24 billion. Gender-swapped Keir Starmer played word games. The OBR said it would cost jobs and growth. So you broke a manifesto promise and damaged the economy in one move. Expert gambit, sir. How do you even square that circle? Vote for me, I won't raise your taxes. 2 months later, actually we are, but we've redefined what your means. Then there are the things he would call wins. Net migration down 48%. Great, you stopped human beings doing the activity performed since the beginning of time. Move. Small boats down 41%. If you want to bring that down to 100% or have 0 small boats crossing, allow the countries they are fleeing to genuinely chase economic development without restrictions. Also, stop freaking bombing them and fix the climate. I really hope that UK citizens never have to become refugees, because they will have to face head-on the bigotry and ruthlessness of other institutionally racist countries. 500,000 children targeted to be lifted out of poverty, an action that probably keeps Keir up at night today because he hates the thought of happy children. Starmer communicated with the charisma of a man reading paint charts at a funeral. It's a miracle he lasted 2 years. On the international stage, he wasn't much better. He might have rallied Europe on Ukraine, but he will pretend he stood up to Trump over the Iran war. Nonetheless, Americans still used UK bases to rearm, and Trump called him a bitch. Who could forget he supported all actions of Israel in Gaza?
Cutting off power, cutting off water.
Well, I think that Israel does have that right. It is an ongoing situation.
Inviting genocide deniers to his home. The fact it took the public this long to oust him begs belief. This man can't keep promises. He betrayed his own party membership and told them to leave.
I say, the door is open and you can leave.
He can't hold a line, stand up for victims of a genocide as a former human rights lawyer, and can't spot Jeffrey Epstein's best friend standing right in front of him. The local elections broke him. Good. West Street and Resigned, if you care about that sort of thing. Andy Burnham triumphant in Makerfield. Days later, Starmer outside Downing Street, announcing it was over. The 6th Prime Minister in 7 years. A leader so delusional that he genuinely believed he was doing right, and he still failed. Totally. And Starmer couldn't tell the country a story it wanted to believe. I enjoyed watching Sir Keir Rodney Starmer's downfall slightly more than watching Argentina lose the World Cup final. And my gripe against Argentina isn't because I'm a Falklands War cheerleader, but because the Argentinian players are certified racists and thugs. The UK should be happy that Keir is gone, and I don't say that as some sort of Andy Burnham loyalist.
Hard work of change was with a singular purpose, not power for power's sake, but to change Britain for the better.
Total failure.
There will be plenty of time to criticise him, and I'm not sure whether he will be materially different from Keir Starmer apart from having a regional accent. A cost of living government sounds good on paper, but what does that mean in practice? Anyway, goodbye Keir, you won't be missed. But that's what I think. What do you think? Please tell me down below, I would love to read it. If you stayed with me up to this point, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. If you enjoy audiobooks, I voice one on spotting red flags early in relationships, link in the description below. And remember, once we understand politics, we will make better choices. Don't forget to hit the buttons for like, subscribe, and I will see you very, very soon. Ciao.